Hi, my name is Adam Cox. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist based in Harley Street in central London, and I specialize in phobias, so much so that the media have labeled me the Phobia Guru. Now, one of the more popular reasons why I'm invited to go on radio or TV or I'm interviewed by the national press in recent years has actually been directly as a result of coulrophobia, which is the irrational and extreme fear of clowns. Now, whereas a normal phobia is actually established in childhood, normally by being learnt from a parent, normally, or perhaps a sibling, or from a specific sensitizing event, coulrophobia, much more than most, is actually been created and established mainly as a result of media activity. And 100 years ago, there was very little about the kind of sinister or kind of evil clowns. The most you would see is the character of the clown in Punch and Judy in a puppet show, for example. But what happened is, I think there was a particular serial killer, I forget the guy's name, who the media found out that actually in his part-time profession, he was a child's entertainer, he was a clown, and he happened to be convicted as a serial killer. So this is the first reporting of the phenomenon of the killer clown. There was no evidence whatsoever that he killed anyone while wearing a clown costume, but the media picked up on this idea that people are inherently scared of the idea of a killer clown. The media have, in three key places, had a really powerful impact on the scale of coulrophobia. And although 12% of the population have admitted to having a fear of clowns, there is something very different from people that find them a bit creepy and a bit strange and unnerving to those people that have panic attacks and they experience high levels of anxiety when they see a clown. So coulrophobia really applies to these people that have high level anxiety at the point of seeing or thinking about clowns. The three main examples of the media influencing this element of a fear of clowns. Number one is the book and the follow-on movies, It by Stephen King. Now, Stephen King wrote this book in the 1980s, I think it was 1986. It was turned into a miniseries in the 1990s, I think it was the early 1990s. And it was the first time that people really saw as a main antagonist in a movie or a miniseries this central character, Pennywise the clown. And one of the scenes there, he's ripping arms off, murdering children, murdering adults. So he's a very sinister, evil clown. And in the same way that Jaws did in the 1980s, the movie and the miniseries It really contributed to a massive increase in the number of people that really feared clowns. Now, that was in the 1990s. In, I think, 2014, maybe 2016 actually, and then again in 2019, were two parts of a movie which was the reboot of the movie It. Huge amounts of viewers, and again, all the publicity, all the promotion around that fueled this kind of overall presupposition and assessment that killer clowns are kind of a thing to be feared. So that's number one. The second thing is that in the Batman comics, movies, spin-offs, all that kind of stuff, one of the main evil characters is, of course, the Joker. And in fact, the Joker, again, to critical acclaim, has been a recent movie with Joaquin Phoenix. But effectively, he is a clown and uses the central element of the clown features, but with some malicious intent. So again, you've got yet another association between the central archetype of the clown and the intention, which for these evil clowns are very much to be not trusted. The third key thing responsible for the fear of clowns, as far as the media is concerned, was I think it was around 2013, 2014, there was high profile videos shared a lot on social media that featured killer clowns. Now, these killer clowns typically had the premise of they're in a subway or they're in a dark street, and they set up the prank effectively that they have been discovered committing some kind of a murder. Now, that might be smashing the head with a mallet, for example, or chopping body parts up with a chainsaw. Now, of course, this is all staged, but the person witnessing that doesn't know that it's staged. And then typically what happens is the clown realizes that they've been witnessed and then starts to chase the witness to hilarious effect from the audience watching. Now, because these videos were so popular, it created reports in tabloid news, in TV, and you were getting copycats where people were dressing up as killer clowns to then create their own prank videos. And this created the killer clown craze. And then at the Halloweens that followed that, of course, lots of people then dressed up as killer clowns. So these three things have really contributed massively to people realizing that there is a high level of association between clowns and anxiety or fear in certain people. Now, why the media have so much to take responsibility for here is that most people deal with a phobia by avoiding the stimulus. And actually, clowns are one of these things that you can kind of avoid fairly easily. You know, you don't go to the circus, for example. You don't watch horror movies that feature clowns. So it's really easy to avoid, clowns if you know that you have this kind of intense reaction to a clown. The problem is that when you get things in the mainstream movies, for example, or you get these unexpected videos on social media, it then becomes trickier to avoid these kind of feelings around clowns because clowns are just more prevalent. And I'm sure there's a lot of relief from a lot of coulrophobics now that the reboot of It has finished. Well, there's probably not going to be another movie featuring an evil clown for a while now, so they've got cause to relax a bit. My prediction would be that what's more likely is that you see another trend of killer clowns on social media, and then that kind of sparks that kind of copycats and things like that, which for someone with coulrophobia will create things like elevated heart rate. They're going to have shakes. They're going to breathe rapidly. They're going to feel chills. They're going to want to avoid going out in public places, particularly on Halloween. And it can create panic attacks in the most extreme examples. Now, the good news is that if you are a coulrophobic, if you do have an extreme fear of clowns, I've actually created a 60-minute video on my website at phobiaguru.com, which actually explains how you can eliminate even the most severe phobias and anxieties literally in under 60 minutes. So that's worth checking that out. That's at phobiaguru.com. But equally, some people choose to work with me either in central London in Harley Street, or for international clients, they can work with me via things like Skype and Zoom. So I work with people all over the world, and I've helped a lot of people with a severe phobia of clowns to really get over their fear very, very quickly indeed. So for more information, please visit phobiaguru.com. Thank you.